Welcome, welcome. Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm going to give just a moment or two for people to join. I don't know how to see who's joined on LinkedIn or YouTube. I'm still learning how to use that little bit of software. Using one platform that sort of connects to multiple platforms allows me to go live in different places all at once. I kind of like the idea of going live. Reminds me of the last major event on every project. Go live. All right. Well, I think we're about a minute in, so I'm going to go ahead and get started for tonight. If you're watching this live or if you're watching this on a repeat, hello and welcome. Drop me a little DM or a hand wave or something if you're out there. And for those of you who don't know, I'm Career Coach Rod. I'm Rod, and I help clinical professionals move into digital health careers where their expertise becomes even more valuable than it was at the bedside. In fact, one of my favorite clients, someone I've been coaching, starts her new digital health job on September 1st. She has fired her boss and given herself a raise. And it's really just the beginning. She's on the bottom ladder of a digital health, bottom rung of a digital health ladder, but she's on the right ladder now, and the ladder goes much higher. So much easier to move around and get things done, make more money, move up in your career, move out, that sort of thing. I'm very proud of her. Tonight's focus, we're going to be talking about huge happenings in healthcare, digital health, AI, that sort of thing, and an AI revolution that's moving very quietly. It's so quiet that even some of the insider people in digital health are missing it. They're missing tools. So if you've noticed AI creeping into your healthcare workplace, go ahead and drop me a little silent in the comments, if you see it encroaching in at the edges. So let's go ahead and get started. The big news this week was that Linda Yaccarino, who I had actually never really heard of before, but she was the former CEO of X, Twitter. She joined a digital health company focused on chronic care and weight management. So when high-profile executives from major tech platforms start moving into healthcare, it's no coincidence. That's where the smart money sees the future, with you. They can't do anything without clinical people, right? So she's not going to a traditional healthcare company, this Linda. She's going to a company that's leveraging AI for population health. So think about what you do every day in chronic care management, and now imagine that expertise scaled up through AI to help thousands of patients simultaneously. That's what she's doing. She's been successful already. She's going to be successful again. She's creeping into healthcare using AI. You're already in healthcare, and the wall between you and AI is paper thin. The digital health stuff is so much easier than blood gases. Let me share a story. Something happened just a little earlier today. I was speaking with a colleague who's been in the Epic world for years. And if you don't know, Epic is one of the major electronic healthcare record vendors. That's what we call them in the States. EPR vendors, electronic patient record vendors, outside of the States. Everybody's got their own word, and they're all sure that they're right and they're the best. But this guy's been plugged into Epic for like years, I think 20 years, pushing 20 years. And he wasn't aware of Epic's new AI platform, Launchpad. And That's rolling out to hospitals and clinics all over the states. Already, Epic says more than 50% of their clients, and they've got a lot of clients, have one or more AI module turned on. Do you remember them telling you about it? Yeah, probably not, right? So, what does this mean? It means that even industry insiders can't keep up with how fast AI is integrating into healthcare. Imagine what's happening behind the scenes. And and do you know what the Epic CEO, the Epic news was about this? They said the biggest challenge that they have for moving AI into a new place, or a functioning hospital that didn't have it before, the new big challenge is project management. That's talking to people, talking to doctors, nurses, other people. That's what you do all day long. So the biggest problem is project management. The biggest solution is the people who can go out there and manage the project. I didn't say AI or digital or technical or coding or anything in that. That's where these jobs are being created. You don't have to be this coding genius, something like that. The biggest problem is, once again, the people, not the technology. And that's been true for the last 25 years in my career. So here's the opportunity. While everyone else is trying to catch up, clinical professionals who understand both patient care and some basic AI stuff and integrations, they're becoming incredibly valuable. This is an aspect of what they're calling ambient intelligence in healthcare. It's already here. It's already working quietly in the background. I mean that literally. It's actually listening to your conversations with patients, automatically updating charts, predicting which patients might deteriorate, and doing it all with HIPAA compliance and GDPR compliance. Already, it's right there. Not every hospital, but some of the best hospitals are already doing it. People like us, nurses and doctors, we're uniquely positioned because we already know how to think in these patterns. We had to survive. Early warning signs, patient changes, care coordination, all of that stuff. It's already hardwired in our brain, and that's how we're able to implement this stuff better than technical people. The reason right now this is working, the reason that this ambient intelligence is working in some of the new hospitals. Hi, Roxy. Hi, Popo. I see you over there. Thanks for joining. The reason that it's working in these hospitals, and these are big names, so go Google it if you want, is because it's being run by clinical people. The people doing the work to put it in are the clinical people. They're just like you. They learned a little bit of AI stuff, a little bit of technology stuff, and that's what they use sort of, 5% of the time. The rest of the time, it's all clinical stuff. It's relating to clinical people, clinical problems in a clinical way. And plus, clinical people tend to trust other clinical people more than non-clinical people. We're kind of snobbish like that. We figure we go out every day, put our license on the line, our livelihood on the line. We do everything we need to do for patients and put it all out there. Other people who do the same are part of that club. People who do not do the same, definitely not part of the club. Somebody who's non-clinical can say 2 + 2 = 4 in a meeting, and all the clinical people will fold their arms and shake their head. Got to be something wrong with this guy. So let's talk about some of the fears that normally go along with this. Nurses, doctors, everybody else, they say, I don't have the tech skills. And that is really backwards thinking. The tech companies can hire programmers anywhere, and frankly, all day I've been using AI for different tasks. Claude is a much better coder than I ever was when I worked at Intel. Much faster, code is much more efficient. The biggest programming language of 2025 is English. So they can find these guys anywhere. They can find anyone to write code. That's really not the problem. The real thing that they need is somebody who knows what it's like to work an actual 12-hour shift, somebody who's been in the trenches, somebody who knows how to recognize subtle changes in patient conditions, because that's what the AI needs to learn. The technical stuff, most of the successful clinical professionals in AI learn that in the first 3 months. They go in, they bang it out. They don't need to become master of it. They just need to be able to use it. Like think Microsoft Word, right? You've written stuff in Microsoft Word. That's a really advanced program. There's a lot of work that's gone into it, but you don't care about that. All you're doing is using it. Same thing for AI. It's just the next thing. That's all. So right now, we're at a perfect storm moment. Healthcare burnout is at an all-time high because it's kind of like working in a factory that dishes out healthcare, right? And AI opportunities are exploding. Now is the time. This is the crucial point in history. This is the crucial point in your career, in your life. The opportunities are emerging. They're right in front of you. The clinical professionals who understand AI implementations will now shape how it works for the next few decades. And it's going to change their lives. They're going to be using their clinical expertise, nursing, medicine, allied health, all of these people, to work remote hours that are normal, like 9 to 5, to receive higher pay. And their work will then impact thousands of patients instead of just a few that you can take care of on your own shift. So when I was new to digital health, I always thought, well, God, this isn't even nursing anymore. This isn't even clinical. This isn't even a real kind of job. That was backwards thinking. I was completely guilty of it. This is using your clinical expertise in a sustainable and knowledge-based kind of way. You're using your brain and not your back. So I know what you're thinking. Where do you even start? And that's why I created my my little digital health career map. So if you go to my website, which I'll put my hair into so you can kind of read it. If you go to my website and hang out for a second, you'll get a pop-up. It'll ask if you want the thing. You put in your email address. It sends you a link to the thing. Not really that complicated, but the thing outlines like the basic steps of how to get from point A to point B. Because if you go to university and you say, I would like a degree in digital health, they'll look under the covers, behind the cupboards, and they'll say, we don't actually have that. We can get you a clinical degree. We can get you a technical degree, but they don't put it together yet. And probably that'll change in the future, but it hasn't changed yet. So if this message tonight resonated with you, DM me roadmap. I'll send you the thing. I'll send you the link. There's no secrets. It's not like super private. I've used the methods in it on myself for about 20 years. I really didn't have it very early in my career, and then I kind of figured it out. I used it for my wife shortly after we met, before we got married, to change her career. She was very unhappy in her career as an emergency doc. And now she does something completely different, and she loves it. She's a much happier person, and making money in a profession she never even thought she was like qualified for. So, I see you, Roxy. I'll get back to you after this. This week, sorry. So this week I've shared. Wait a second. This week. Next week, I'll be sharing some more examples of nurses who've made like successful careers, that sort of thing. And the AI revolution in healthcare is going to happen with or without you. The reason I do what I do, the reason I have Impact Career Coaching is because I've been in digital health a long time. And I've worked with clinical people and I've worked with non-clinical people. Some of the worst people I've worked with had degrees in history, communications, stuff like this. They had no idea what goes on in a hospital, right? Working with clinical people, and why I'm always reaching out to clinical people, things turn out better every time. You put a nurse in charge of something that's nursey. You put a doctor in charge of something that's for doctors. You put a lab person in charge of something that's going on in the lab, and it works better. So with that, I'll pause for a moment, see if there's questions. I do see you, Roxy. I'll look for your email address, roxy.gordon, and see if I can get you over the link and get you started. Also, if you want to book some time with me directly, so we can discuss stuff, then just DM me. We'll get in touch. We'll get you hooked up, and then we'll have a direct conversation about digital health and you. Oh, look, that's Roxy and Popo. How exciting! Yeah, I'm new to this digital marketing, in short form media, that sort of thing. So I appreciate the support and the feedback. If there's no further questions, I'm just going to grab a note of who has messaged me for the night and make sure that I get to follow up on that. But now I have about half an hour to eat, and then I'll be meeting with a new client for the first time, getting her started on her journey. It's very exciting. So I need to prepare for that, make sure that she receives all of the bespoke coaching services that she needs, and she's well supported. Thank you, everyone, for tonight, and I will see you again next Thursday. If there's a topic you particularly want me to cover, let me know. If not, you can tell some of what I'm going to talk about by looking at my website and seeing what I published on Monday, because I'll be talking about that along with how it applies to recent events on Thursdays. Thanks, everyone. Good night.